And the vice president goes on Joe Rogan, and he seems to cut against a lot of those things. So I've talked about the vice president's heterodox views, shall we say.
They're paying Americans to poison the well in the conversation and attack the people making the deal. And the conclusion is they want Americans to permanently be at war on their behalf.
Yeah, so it sounds like our boy Ben Shapiro, he's not exactly pleased with the way J.D. Vance handled things, even though some would argue that he was pretty balanced in his take.
To get him to back down from his demands for them to increase the proportion of GDP spent on military? No, 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 no. Absolutely not. How about the other way? Did Israel get the United States to bomb Iran's nuclear complex? Yes. Did they get us to participate in a regime change war? Yes. Did they get us to give them $12 billion in aid? Yes. Did they get us to give them 2,000-pound bombs to indiscriminately bomb civilians and enemy combatants alike? Yes. Did they get us to oust the faculty at Columbia, Harvard, and UPenn? Yes. Did they get us to take away visas and citizenship from people that protested Israel's war? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And by the way, who owns the conservative media? Is it the French and the British, or is it Israel-aligned people? Rupert Murdoch owns News Corp. Rupert Murdoch owns Fox News, Wall Street Journal, New York Post. Who's he aligned with? He's aligned with Bibi Netanyahu. Larry Ellison acquired TikTok, CBS, CNN, Warner Brothers, Paramount Plus. Who's he aligned with? He was born in America. He's aligned with Israel. Who's in the administration? Is it a lot of French and British? Or is it Jared Kushner, Howard Lutnick, Steve Witkoff, Stephen Miller, Marco Rubio, Mike Waltz, who are all loyal to Israel?
Well, to be fair, like all of that really happened since DJT took over, right? Then he became really pro-Israel. So I think that's in line with what we already saw with the majority of Republicans supporting Israel and then the Democrats not supporting Israel. So it's in line with what we already saw.
Our ambassador to France is an agent of Israel. Do you know who our ambassador to France is? Jared Kushner's father, Charles Kushner. You know what his priorities are as our ambassador to France? Number one, fight anti-Semitism. So it's a false equivalency. Do all countries try to influence American politics? Ostensibly. But the bigger question is who's actually doing it? It's Israel. Who among our allies is influencing America? It's Israel. It's not the European Union. It's not Ukraine. It's not South Korea or Japan or India. Look at what we've done to India. In the first term, Trump renamed our Pacific Command to the Indo-Pacific in light of increasing ties with New Delhi. In Trump 2, they changed it back. They said we're back to the Pacific Command because India wouldn't stop buying Russian oil and gas. So we're willing to piss off South Korea. We're willing to piss off Japan and India and Europe and Canada.
That's true. Speaking of India, right? He literally went to Pakistan to try and like make the peace deal between Iran and Israel. Meanwhile, people say that like Modi would have perhaps been the better person to lead those negotiations, but he didn't choose that. Why didn't he choose that? I would never know. But maybe you guys know. You can let me know in the chat.
Canada and Mexico and Colombia and all of them, we are never willing to piss off Israel. So they stand out. They are alone. They are unique among allies and among all countries in influencing our politics. And by the way, we pay them for the privilege. Why would you not mind that? If you're America first, of course you would mind that. And of course you would mind that they're doing it. And the problem is not just that American politicians listen, it's that Americans betray their country for Israel. But he goes, I don't mind. Every country does it. I get why they do it. I have no problem with it. He says, I'm a reasonable moderate on the issue. So you're telling me Israel spies on our country. Israel influences our policy. Israel's calling you an anti-Semite, a horrible thing to call somebody. Israel's poisoning the peace deal because they want us to die and spend money on their wars. You're a reasonable moderate on that? Does that even make any sense? Do you believe that? If J.D. Vance believes that Israel is paying Americans to buy off influencers to sabotage diplomacy, then what is the necessary conclusion? It means Israel wants Americans to die in their war. Israel wants us to spend trillions of dollars on their war. What happens if peace fails? What happens if diplomacy fails? What happens if the deal collapses? It means Americans will die. It means we are trapped. We are stuck. It means inflation goes up, gas prices stay high. It means we may be involved in a ground war in Iran. That's not a joke. That is serious. And Vance says, we know they're doing it. He says, we know exactly what they're doing. We know this is the agenda hatched in Israel by their government. They're paying Americans to poison the well in the conversation and attack the people making the deal. And the conclusion is they want Americans to permanently be at war on their behalf.
Yeah. Or could it be that like that is what America wants, is to be in control of the Middle East, and they're trying to use Israel to accomplish that. That is just an alternative theory, of course, which could be very well wrong. Now, I want to have a look at what some pro-Israel pundits are saying, such as Ben Shapiro.
The vice president goes on Joe Rogan, and he seems to cut against a lot of those things. So I've talked about the vice president's heterodox views, shall we say. The question is what he's doing politically speaking. Okay, because that brings us to question 2. I said earlier on, I want 2 things from my Republican candidate. 1, to reflect my principles. And 2, I want them to defeat the Democrats. Now, I've talked about the ways in which the vice president is skewing away from a lot of those principles, but the second question is still very live. Is he likely to beat the Democrats because of this? Maybe it's just a tactic. Maybe it's a tactic.
Yeah, so it sounds like our boy Ben Shapiro, he's not exactly pleased with the way JD Vance handled things, even though some would argue that he was pretty balanced in his take. Ben Shapiro would want like the unwavering support for Israel, and nothing less than that will suffice, which is very telling, right? Because you can just tell it's unrelentless, ungrateful, and which is what JD was saying, right? That like, you know, like, we've done already so much for you guys, like, and then why do you still keep expecting more? But you can hear Ben Shapiro here. He's not satisfied. And he felt like JD Vance is actually moving away from Israel, even though he was very much in the middle. So, yeah, no surprise there. Right? Can anybody say that they're surprised to hear that this is Ben Shapiro's take on it?